Okay. So, how many times did we go to California?
God only knows
All
and
right.
you know.
All right. You went to California with Mary Shimatero, before
Yes.
she got married. All right. So, you went to California, I think, 2 times with her,
Okay.
and you had a lot of fun in California. So, and I think Mary had a Volkswagen Bug, and you drove to California in her Volkswagen Bug. So, then, the third time, you were on a National Science Foundation grant about studying the flora and the fauna from the coastal range to the sea.
Wow.
So,
I'm impressed.
you met Lou and Charmaine, and Lou was from Chicago, and Charmaine was from New Orleans, and you spent the summer
We
there.
did a lot.
You did, yeah. So that was the third time you went to California. So the fourth time, I had to go to California to do some work. I worked for Mohasco, and
Already by then?
yeah, by then, because we lived at Peck's Lake, and we went to California. And I think we left around Christmas time or New Year's. So we drove from Peck's Lake to Detroit,
Okay.
and we visited your family. And then on New Year's, I think, we drove from Detroit to San Francisco.
Wow.
And the company I worked for, they rented us a nice apartment in, I think it was Burlingame, California, which is just south of San Francisco. And we were there until Easter time.
Wow. And you got away with that.
And we had lots of fun. We went, we drove around California. We went to Yosemite Valley, and we went cross-country skiing in the Yosemite Valley. And
I got to remember that and do it again.
yeah, we should definitely do it again. So we went cross-country skiing in Yosemite, and then after I finished my work in California, we drove back, and we stopped on the way to, where did we stop? We stopped at a ski area in Colorado. Telluride. We stopped in Telluride.
Wow, Telluride is really special.
It is. So, and my boss's boss gave me an extra week's vacation because I'd done such a good job. So that was great. So then later on, I was my old friend Jerry Wilson. He called me up, and he wanted me to work in Singapore.
Oh,
He-
yeah.
he-
I remember now.
Right. So he wanted us to move to Singapore, and I told him no. It's too hot in Singapore, because Singapore is like right on the equator. And
Yeah.
it's like 100 degrees every day.
Yes.
And I said, no, I can't do that. So then he called me, a month goes by, and he calls me back. And he says, Joe, I've got a better job for you. He says, I said, where is it? And he says, in Brisbane, Australia. And I go, it's too far away to get to Brisbane, Australia and live there. So I told him no. So then another month goes by. Another month goes by, and he calls me up and he says, I've got the job just for you, Joe. I said, okay, where is it? He says, I'll tell you all about it on the plane. And he didn't tell me where the plane was going. So finally I said, well, where's the plane going? And he says, San Francisco. And I said, when does the plane leave? And that's how we ended up moving to San Francisco.
Wow.
So he moved us to San Francisco, and you got a job teaching out there, right on top. I think your school is like right on top of the San Andreas Fault. It was like crazy, right on top of an earthquake fault, and I had a good time working for people out there. And then as part of my job, I had to travel a lot. So I had to go I had users and staff that
Yeah.
were in San Francisco, San Mateo, San Francisco, Vancouver, British Columbia.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
And also, I had users in different places.
Wow.
So,
How long ago was this actually that we're talking about?
must be at least 15 years ago.
Yep.
So, then I had to go to Brisbane, Australia. And because
Joe did Brisbane, Australia
yeah,
afterwards, so over and over again.
over and over again, you're right.
Yes.
And I had to go to Singapore,
Yes.
and I had to go to Hong Kong,
Yes.
and I had to go to India. I had to go to China. India. So I had to go to all those places. I had to go back 3 or 4 times a year. I had to go to all those places, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
Good. I'm glad because it was going to take time.
It did, but
Wow, that's impressive. Or depressing, depending
no,
on it.
I had fun. I had fun traveling.
Good.
And I had all of these people working for me, all around the.
You know what?
What?
It's not the only time that happened, Joe. Whatever something was going on like that, and you just have to go with it. You have to go with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you're going to mess it all up.
So that was the 5 trips to California. You did 5 trips, and I only did 2.
We got to do something about this. We have to have some kind of time that we did it all together. Or
Yeah.
something. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
should try to do what they call a timeline, so we remember, like on a calendar, when
Yeah.
we did different things. So we can do that.
Yes, I think we owe it to each other
Mm-hmm.
to do something like that. Wow. And you know all the places that they are at, or that they moved to.
I do. Yeah.
Darn, that cold winter is out here again.
Yeah, it's getting cool. It cools down. The sun's
It's
going
cool.
down.
I know it's not a lot.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting there cold, then it's a lot.